What's up, family? I'm just making another video, just talking about whatever's on my mind at the current moment. Right now, I'm thinking about doing a video on masculinity and the war of masculinity. For a while, maybe since maybe 2019 through that 2020, I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube dealing with the Red Pill, Manosphere, MGTOW, whatever you want to call it. I've been. I started. I'll say like when I very first started getting into it. I ran into videos by Donovan Sharp, and from there, and I got introduced to people like Kevin Samuels, and a whole bunch of other YouTubers like Roll Tomasi, who's the author of the book The Rational Male, Richard Cooper, and a whole bunch of other YouTubers that deal with men's issues. And one time I was on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends told me about Coach Greg Adams. And then I checked out Coach Greg Adams, and but let me backtrack a little bit. Even before I started watching Donovan Sharp, I knew of MGTOW, because I've heard of, when we first got on YouTube, when I started getting into YouTube, I started watching a lot of conservative content. Even let me backtrack again. Even before that, I started watching a lot of anti-SJW videos. That's really where I got my start watching a lot of those anti-SJW videos. People like Jacqueline Gwynn, people like that. And quite as it's kept, a lot of those, when the very first anti-SJW YouTube content creators, a lot of them were liberal, believe it or not. A lot of them were Democrat, believe it or not. Like Sean Head, she's another one. And, a lot of conservatives don't want to deal with that fact. Because I remember, cause I started watching that content around 2015, 2016-ish, around that time when I first started watching like a lot of those anti-SJW videos. And then from there, I started watching like Lawrence Southern and, people like that, Rebel Media, that guy T, Hi, I think I'm real, Romy Millennial, Barbara for you to see, some black guy, people like that, And when I started getting into that content, I started like getting a little deeper. I ran into like Dave Cullen when he started doing before he started doing like the sci-fi commentary. He did like he had a YouTube channel where he talked about like a lot of I won't say political, but kind of like issues dealing with relationships and men and women, stuff like that. He did it a little bit, and also the classic video by Black Pigeon Speaks. I think the video was called "Do Women How Women Destroy Civilizations," something to that effect. That's a classic video. I think they took down the video from YouTube. It might still be on YouTube. I have to find it. But no, Black Pigeon Speaks. And then I ran into when I started, and it was a funny story because when I was like watching those videos, you know how like on the side of the video to give you like video options. Then I was clicking down YouTube. I saw this little cute little blonde girl that was like blonde in the middle of the beast. I clicked on her, and then from there, what I'm saying, it kind of introduced me to like a whole other world. You know what I'm saying? And then I started watching like Black Pill, Divin Stack, Aaron Clary, you know what I'm saying? Then that's just on the white side. On the black side, I watched O'Shea Duke Jackson. I watched him, of course, Kevin Samuels. I watched, Mr. Lucario, people like that. Steve D. Williams. So I kind of like me. It's like when I watch stuff, I watch people from both black and white. I don't work stick with like one side. So it's just like I could watch like a Black Manosphere video. You know what I'm saying, and then I could watch somebody from the White Manosphere. What I'm saying. So it I really discriminate. I can tell there's like a slight difference, what I'm saying? And of course, like there's different cultural differences, but it's always good to like always tell people to like watch both sides, and so you can get like a overall perspective of what's going on. And going back to the topic of masculinity, when I ran into like MGTOW, I kind of had like the conservative stance on it, like, oh, they're just like the male version of feminism and all this kind of stuff. And what, but so I kind of like got away from MGTOW a little bit, and then when I started watching Donovan Sharp and the other Manosphere Red Pill content creators, then I went back to MGTOW. Then I discovered other people like Turd Flicking Monkey. Who else? RZ Sandman. Oh, Barbarossa, Barbar. His old videos going like way back. And you know, and overall, this is let me just give you the overall take on what the red pill is from my perspective. Let's say, for instance, like you have like a good guy, good, sincere, honest, healthy, intelligent, good-looking guy, right? Christian guy, law-abiding guy. He's looking for a wife. Okay, so he goes out into the world, tries to look for a wife, but he ends up getting cheated on, or say he can't find a good woman. He always thinks if he found a good woman, like he thought he found a good Christian woman, but turned out she had a past or whatever, or whatever the case may be. And this in the guy was is like he in his mind he was like, well, I've done all the right steps. I took the guy said I took the advice from my mother. I took my preacher's advice. I took my sister's advice. I've watched all these conservative commentaries about marriage. I took their advice. I've read Christian books on marriage, but none of that worked. And since none of that worked, that's when the good, sincere guy becomes red pill. Plain and simple. That's what red pill is from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So most red pillers don't necessarily dislike women. A lot of them are just like men that are looking for wives and they can't find it. Then they become red pill. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Just the foundation of it. And people who attack red pill never take that into consideration. They attack the red pill. They just assume they're just like men who like bash women. That's not true. So if you just understand that foundation, then you can understand what red pill content creators are talking about. Even though they might come from different perspectives, just have that as your firm foundation of what red pill is instead of attacking it. You know what I'm saying? Why not just have a dialogue with a red pillar? Plain and simple. Yeah, but anyway, going back to the topic of the attack of masculinity. It's the reason why there's attack of masculinity. It's an attack on. This is my opinion. It's an attack on competence. They don't want a competent society. They want a society where people are easily controlled. They want a society where nothing functions right for whatever reason. Ain't no telling what the reason is. So it's kind of like they don't want a strong middle class. So they pretty much want the elites and they want the lower class. They don't want anybody in between. In order to like do that, you have to attack the family, you have to attack marriage, you have to attack masculinity and attack femininity as well. You know, so that's why not only there's an attack of masculinity, there's also an attack of femininity as well. they don't really talk about that much. And when I say femininity, I'm not talking about like feminism. I'm just talking about like women who are graceful, women who are, you know, intelligent. You know, they have grace. You know, women who like who have a maternal instinct. They don't want that either. And and I did videos on this. You notice that nowadays people lack intuition. Most people have no intuition whatsoever. They don't have the ability to read people. They don't have the old fashioned intuition to like know somebody's lying to them. Back in the day, man, you can just tell. People just have like a basic street smarts about certain stuff. Even if a person was a street, they could, that person had just had like a basic gut instinct. But it seems like nowadays it's just like gone now for some weird reason, and people just fall for like the stupidest stuff for what reason I don't know. And it's kind of like they make bad decisions on purpose. You know what I'm saying? All this kind of stuff. So it doesn't make any sense. No, that, I mean, it could be a whole bunch of theories as why that's happening. But basically, like the natural intuition that human beings had, what I'm saying, that makes you human, that's like out the door now. And you can even look at the old people nowadays, people in their 50s, 60s, going on 70, say they don't have wisdom at all. Like, no, old people used to have wisdom, you know what I'm saying? But old people now, old people in like 50s, 60s, whatever. It's like they just act as it's like they're the same level as people in their 20s. It's like they have no wisdom whatsoever. It's weird, you know what I'm saying? But it's just something I'm noticing, and that's part of the agenda as well. You know what I'm saying? So, but this just something I just wanted to speak on briefly. I can go like more in detail into this, but I don't want to make this video 2 hours, whatever. But I just give you my little tidbit, and I think the solution to this is that people just need to start thinking again. People don't think. People follow, but they don't question. They don't think. They don't look around and just ask themselves questions anymore. And when it comes down to like masculinity and femininity, you don't really need, if there's like a natural world, you don't have to be a man doesn't need to be taught masculinity. So some things it should just come natural. Same thing with femininity, it should just come natural. Of course, you need somebody like a father or mother to teach you certain things, but when it comes down to like, people just like follow their gut instinct and follow their conscience, that will solve like a lot of problems. But people, they rather follow the crowd and try to be accepted by the crowd. And they put being accepted by the crowd over everything. You know what I'm saying? They put acceptance of the crowd, they put that over their own happiness, you know. So even something that will make them happy, they will reject what makes them happy. They will reject what makes them fulfilled. They will reject what makes them whole people in order to fit in to the popular crowd, into the mainstream. And that's the problem. And when people do that, they become miserable, and they and they hang on to that misery. Especially women, they women rather hang on to the misery instead of being happy. Believe it or not, I'm just gonna buy my observation, but but people just like listen to their first mind and just like follow the intuition and just learn how to think, and don't be afraid to question things and just follow the beat of their own drum. That will solve a lot of problems. And I think with people like, you know, no, I don't care what my friends say. And I made a video called "Rebel Against Your Friends." I talked about that. That people will just rebel against their friends. You'll have people in relationships again. You will have people in happy marriages again. You know what I'm saying? And all those kinds. You'll have people having families again if they just rebel against their friends. It sounds weird, but like I said, I made a video about it. I might post it below, whatever. But That's all I got to say on that. If you have guys have any input on that, or you want like agree, disagree, whatever, put in the comments below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. And that's all I got to say on that. Y'all take it easy and peace.